Folks are usually about as happy as they make their minds up to be. Whatever you are, be a good one. Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. My best friend is a person who will give me a book I have not read. My concern is not whether God is on our side, my greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God. I'm a success today because I had a friend who believed in me and I didn't have the heart to let him down. Books serve to show a man that those original thoughts of his aren't very new after all. When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad. That's my religion. Those who deny freedom to others, deserve it not for themselves. I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. Whenever I hear anyone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally. There are no bad pictures, that's just how your face looks sometimes. I can see how it might be possible for a man to look down upon the earth and be an atheist, but I cannot conceive how a man could look up into the heavens and say there is no God. Those who look for the bad in people will surely find it. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live up to what light I have. You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all of the people some of the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all of the time. I would rather be a little nobody, than to be a evil somebody. I have been driven many times upon my knees by the overwhelming conviction that I had nowhere else to go. My own wisdom and that of all about me seemed insufficient for that day. Character is like a tree and reputation its shadow. The shadow is what we think it is and the tree is the real thing. Laugh because I must not cry, that is all, that is all. Tact, the ability to describe others as they see themselves. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Elections belong to the people. It's their decision. If they decide to turn their back on the fire and burn their behinds, then they will just have to sit on their blisters. I will prepare and someday my chance will come. No man has a good enough memory to be a successful liar. The best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. My father taught me to work, but not to love it. I never did like to work, and I don't deny it. I'd rather read, tell stories, crack jokes, talk, laugh, anything but work. I have always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. If you once forfeit the confidence of your fellow citizens, you can never regain their respect and esteem. It is true that you may fool all of the people some of the time, you can even fool some of the people all of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. Speech at Clinton, Illinois, September 8, 1854. All I have learned, I learned from books. Things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle. I care not for a man's religion whose dog and cat are not the better for it. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. Every man's happiness is his own responsibility. I am in favor of animal rights as well as human rights. That is the way of a whole human being. I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. It's not me who can't keep a secret. It's the people I tell that can't. In this sad world of ours, sorrow comes to all, and, to the young, it comes with bitterest agony, because it takes them unawares. The older have learned to ever expect it. I am anxious to afford some alleviation of your present distress. Perfect relief is not possible, except with time. You cannot now realize that you will ever feel better. Is not this so? And yet it is a mistake. You are sure to be happy again. To know this, which is certainly true. The Lord prefers common-looking people. That is why He made so many of them. It has been my experience that folks who have no vices have very few virtues. You have to do your own growing no matter how tall your grandfather was. You cannot help people permanently by doing for them what they could and should do for themselves. You can tell the greatness of a man by what makes him angry. If this is coffee, please bring me some tea, but if this is tea, please bring me some coffee. I am a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them the real facts, and beer. A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe this government cannot endure, permanently half slave and half free. I do not expect the Union to be dissolved, I do not expect the house to fall, but I do expect it will cease to be divided. It will become all one thing or all the other. It is difficult to make a man miserable while he feels worthy of himself and claims kindred to the great God who made him. I am not concerned that you have fallen, I am concerned that you arise. The better part of one's life consists of his friendships. As a nation, we began by declaring that all men are created equal. We now practically read it all men are created equal, except Negroes. When the know-nothings get control, It will read all men are created equal, except Negroes, and foreigners, and Catholics. When it comes to this, I should prefer emigrating to some country where they make no pretense of loving liberty, to Russia, for instance, where despotism can be taken pure, and without the base alloy of hypocrisy. To ease another's heartache is to forget one's own. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. I don't know who my grandfather was, I am much more concerned to know what his grandson will be. Achievement has no color. 7 years ago our fathers brought forth on this continent, a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. When I get ready to talk to people, I spend 2/3 of the time thinking what they want to hear and 1/3 thinking about what I want to say. From whence shall we expect the approach of danger? Shall some transatlantic military giant step the earth and crush us at a blow? Never. All the armies of Europe and Asia could not by force take a drink from the Ohio River or make a track on the Blue Ridge in the trial of 1,000 years. No, if destruction be our lot, we must ourselves be its author and finisher. As a nation of free men we will live forever or die by suicide.